What is up, guys? Wisco Sports Craze here, coming to you with some Green Bay Packers talk. Pretty big day in Packers land. 53-man roster cutdown day, 4 p.m. It was a pretty exciting day just to see what was going to happen, and I think we were curious how things would play out at certain positions, and we finally have those answers. And I will say that my prediction video that I made about a week or so ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, it was pretty spot on for the most part. I did miss a couple things due to injuries or whatnot, but pretty excited about how I hit on almost all my predictions. But let's get into it. Quarterback, no surprises at all. Aaron Rodgers, the MVP of the league, 12. He's back. He's ready to roll. And Jordan Love, who I will say in preseason looked pretty solid. I mean, he had his ups and downs, as all young quarterbacks do. Aaron Rodgers did at one point, and Tom Brady did at one point. Guys like this, everybody struggles at some point in time, and you're gonna see the flaws in them. But we seen more good than bad with Jordan Love. I really liked what he put on tape, and besides for the misplay with the interception to Micah Hyde, I thought he looked really good in his 2 games that he played. I wish we could have seen 3 games from Jordan Love, but we didn't get that. And I just thought he looked pretty solid on tape. I will say that. Running backs, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and Kylan Hill, as I predicted as well. Kylan Hill, 7th round pick. Dude is a complete stud. I mean, I don't think I've seen this complete of a 7th round running back before. I mean, or 7th round pick in general. I can't remember the last one, Complete steal in the draft. Just another great find by Gutekunst and his staff. He can do it all. I mean, a 7th round pick doing the things that he's doing. He can receive. He can lower his pads when he has to, and he has that breakaway speed. He has it all. I really like Kylan Hill, and I wanted to see what Matt LaFleur has in store for him this season and how he can get all 3 of these guys involved running the ball, because I want to keep him fresh going through the season as we have in years past with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon last year, so pretty excited all around about the running back core. I think it's one of the better cores in the league, no doubt. And if Kylan Hill can take that step, I think you're going to see major you're going to get a lot of production out of the running back room, okay? Wide receivers, Devonte Adams, Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Randall Cobb, Amari Rodgers, and Malik Taylor, who I did not have on my initial 53-man roster. But the guy balled out in preseason. What can you say? I mean, I seen him play later in the year last year, and he looked pretty solid. And early at that, he played earlier in the season too. He looked solid, but he just took the next step in preseason. He earned a spot. I mean, I had Devin Funchess and Equanimeous St. Brown making the roster, but Equanimeous St. Brown, unfortunately, was released today. I always liked his size, and he looked pretty good his rookie year, but he just couldn't stay on the field. He could never stay healthy, so Equanimeous, I don't know if we'll have a chance to get him on the practice squad or not, but it looks like Green Bay will move on from him, and rightfully so. Like I said, he had potential, but potential is potential, and he'll never break out of that, I don't believe, with the injury bug, and hopefully he does, because I really do like EQ and what he had to offer. But Malik Taylor solidified his spot on this roster, and he makes the 53, and I'm pretty excited about this core as well. Tight ends, Mercedes Lewis, Robert Tonyan, Josiah DeGuara, and Dominique Daphne. I did not have Daphne as well on my initial 53, only because I spaced that Jay Sternberger was suspended the first 2 games, and he will be on the suspended list, which means he doesn't count for a spot on the 53. With that being said, Dominic Daphne did look good at the end of the season there. Had a touchdown against the Chicago Bears, and I actually like what he has to offer as well. As a 4th tight end, he can, he can block, and he can catch the ball. I mean, so what more can you ask? Josiah DeGuara obviously will play more of the H-back role, and I'm excited for his role, getting him back this year from the torn ACL. Hopefully he's good to go, and he looks like he is, so I'm pretty excited about that. Along the lines of Jay Sternberger, don't be surprised if after that suspension is up, the Packers just move on from him, because another guy who just hasn't produced what we thought he would be as a third-round pick. And, sometimes you're just going to miss. And Jay Sternberger looks like he's a miss. I honestly think that in the right system, he could flourish, though. I really do. Jay Sternberger, he's interesting because, he has those plays where it's like, man, can this guy just take the next step? He never has in Green Bay yet. But that's not to say, he couldn't go somewhere else and be an impact guy. So that's your 4 tight ends. Offensive line. This is where it got a little tricky with my predictions, as I predicted as well, as it would get tricky with how much depth and all-around talent we have. But biggest news out of the offensive lineman group, I did have David Bakhtiari on the initial 53, but I did say in the video that I didn't know what exactly they were going to do with him, but they ended up placing him, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you view it, placed him on the PUP list, meaning he does have to miss the first 6 weeks of the season, and we do see some pretty good fronts in that time. Headlining that list would be the 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they will get after Rodgers, but hopefully these young guys can step up. He'll be back in time for the Washington football team, so perfect timing. With that monster front, we know how they can hunt the quarterback, so we got to get David Bakhtiari healthy, and that's the biggest key here. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle, and we just want to see him get back to the form he is. You don't want to rush him back. It's only been 8 months since the guy tore his ACL. That was going to be, in itself, just astonishing to see him back. And he was practicing. He seemed to be close to me, and he won't be, unfortunately, back to start the season. But I think we will be able to hold it down, the offensive line group as a whole. Elton Jenkins, who will presumably take the spot of David Bakhtiari at left tackle, and that is perfectly fine because Elton Jenkins, dude, can be a Pro Bowler at every single position on the offensive line. I truly believe that. I truly believe that Elton Jenkins is the best all-around offensive lineman in the National Football League, and I am not just saying that as a Packer fan. Like, if you look at the tape, this guy is a bona fide stud, absolute home run, grand slam, out of the park pick by the Packers, second round. In 2019? Just phenomenal pick. And Elton Jenkins will hold it down at left tackle. I think he'll be above average at that. And you guys will see how valuable this guy really is. And when he will be able to slide back to left guard once Bakhtiari gets back, I'm very excited about the potential of this offensive line. Elton Jenkins, Billy Turner, Lucas Patrick, Josh Myers, Royce Newman, who I'm going to rave about here in a second, John Runyon Jr., Yash Nijman, who was a surprise to me, actually, Dennis Kelly, and Jay Canton, who was a very big surprise to me. Royce Newman, just to dive into him a little bit, I'm saying it right now, he has the look to be another Pro Bowl, 4th round pick. Like, the Packers just know how to find these offensive linemen. Whether you hate the front office or not, you can't deny how good of a drafting team we are, draft and develop at that. And these guys are going to be ready by week 1 to start on our offensive line. That's just saying how good of scouts and everything we have for this team. Josh Myers and Royce Newman will presumably get the starts on the offensive line. I do think it'll shake out that way with the talent levels that we do have. Royce Newman, highest graded non-first round pick in this preseason for all of the NFL. So, absolute stud, in my opinion. I think he'll be able to come right in. I am a little nervous for this offensive line, with Josh Myers having to take snaps at center and Royce Newman, just because I do think these guys have a lot of talent, and these guys will be very good for us in the years to come here, and we have a very young offensive line that's talented. But, to throw them straight into the fire week 1, it's a whole different ball game. once you get onto that field and the bullets are live, and you got Cam Jordan and these boys coming after you, you got to stop them from hitting 12, and people might be playing positions that they're not totally accustomed to yet, as in Royce Newman, but I think they'll hold it down. Like I said, the biggest surprises to me was Josh Nijman and Jake Hansen. Josh actually really performed well in preseason and solidified his spot on this roster, which actually shocked me because I didn't think he was that good, but I was wrong, and I admit that, and I'm happy to say that because we have more depth on the offensive line at the tackle spot. He should be the backup left tackle. Jake Hansen was really the biggest surprise to me because Ben Braden was getting snaps at first team offensive line. I think he was getting snaps around right guard and center and certain places like that. They really moved these guys all around. But Ben Braden was cut today, and Jake Hansen made the roster. Big surprise to me. I don't really know if I like that move because Ben Braden might get a claim. Now, he might get a claim now from another team, and that would suck for us, man. Ben Braden had a lot of promise, but Jake Hansen, I think he easily would have went through waivers and been able to sign him back to practice squad if you chose to do so. But like I said, shocker there. In my prediction video, I will say that I noticed the goof on my part with me saying that we kept 9, but there was only 8 on paper, and yeah, that was just a brain fart on my end. But you move on, and I'm actually pretty excited about this offensive line group, especially when we get Bakhtiari back. This group has so much talent and depth. I think we'll be just fine. I mean, could you make a call to a Mitchell Schwartz or somebody like that, maybe as a veteran minimum contract, and get somebody like that in just to solidify it down enough to where you get Bakhtiari back, and then you have a lot of good options there. But like we're all together with the offensive line, defensive line, Kenny Clark, Dean Lowry, Kingsley Keke, Jack Heflin, and more importantly, TJ Slayton, the rookie out of Florida. I really like him too. I think TJ Slayton and Kingsley Keke will take a big step and start next to Kenny Clark there. Dean Lowry's always solid, but the Packers continue with the Tyler Lancaster show, and I just don't understand it. And from a personnel standpoint and just all around football, if you watch the tape, Tyler Lancaster really does nothing of any. He does no good, in my opinion. The dude, he gets bullied on run plays, and he gets no pressure on the quarterback. I mean, he's just out there, and I hate that. And I think that if the Packers are going to look to make an upgrade somewhere, it's going to be with the release of Tyler Lancaster and to bring in someone. There was a couple cuts today that caught my eye, and Everson Griffin and Mike Daniels that could come in and help with the interior defensive line. Help Everson Griffin being he could play outside or inside, but yeah, I don't understand the Tyler Lancaster. I did like Jack Heflin, the undrafted guy undrafted D tackle out of Iowa. He actually impressed me. I liked the push he was getting in the run, and obviously against backups and stuff. But I do like Jack Heflin and what he has to offer. I think we could get an upgrade there at that spot, but again, I'm pretty excited about some of these guys. Like I said, Kingsley Keke and TJ Slayton, what they could offer next to Kenny Clark. What would it take to get Snacks back, though? Seriously, Snacks Harrison, what he could have meant to this team. I don't know if it's a money thing or whatnot, or what he has against Green Bay, but we only got to see him for 3 games. I mean, Snacks for a full season could really help this team and help us be stout against the run. He's not a pass rusher, no, but he's going to help Kenny. He could give Kenny a breather, or just imagine Kenny and Snacks and some of these guys together. So, or, Jarrell Casey or a Mike Daniels, whatever. Just bring one more. I think we need one more guy there. Just solidify it and give us enough depth to get through the season and have talent really to be one of the best units in the NFL. Like I said, pretty excited about the D-line group as a whole. Moving on to outside linebacker, I nailed all these on the head. Zadarius Smith, who will not be starting the season on PUP as some actually projected. So he looks to be ready for week 1. Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, Jonathan Garvin, and Chauncey Rivers, who I predicted, and the late waiver claim there from Baltimore. I'm really excited about this guy. He's explosive. He can get through that line. He has a number of pass rushing moves. As a special teamer and as really a fifth guy, you really like that depth. I really liked him. I never really liked Tipa Galeai, however you say his name. He was released today. I'm sure he'll make it back to the practice squad. I didn't really like him as a player, what he had to offer. Inside linebacker, Devondre Campbell, Chris Barnes, Oren Burks, who really impressed. Ty Summers and Isaiah McDuffie. I also had in my prediction video Kamal Martin making this team. I thought it was a surefire. I thought he was a surefire pick to make it, and a surefire number 3 at that. And wow, was released. That's unbelievable in of itself. But as a whole, I do like the inside linebacker group. Could you look to maybe add a Bernard McKinney or someone like that? I don't see KJ Wright just because of the money and all that, but he's looking for a decent contract. Unless he could take a pay cut to come to Green Bay, somebody like that really wouldn't make that much sense. But Bernard McKinney or someone as that stature, he's actually a former starter, and he was pretty bad last year, but if you could get him as a third or a fourth inside linebacker, you'd be pretty happy. Oren Burks really impressed and earned his job back, so pretty happy for him. He did look pretty good in preseason. Moving on to cornerback, really excited about this group. Another group that I hit exactly how it was. Jair Alexander, the best cornerback in the league. Kevin King, who I know you guys have a big problem with, but I'm telling you right now, if this guy moves to the number 3, is there really even a better number 3 in the league? I mean, I'm sure there probably is, but he's up there like with Kevin King is not that bad of a player. You guys, he had one bad game, and I know we're never going to forgive him for it. I mean, I really already have because I love Kevin King as a player and what he has to offer. But I think he's going to be a dog this year, man. I think he's going to come back and have a number of picks and really take the next step and lock it down with Ja. Eric Stokes, the young rookie out of Georgia, I'm very excited about. Can fly. I think he's going to give us an option there to just have King and Stokes on the outside and move Ja inside on certain formations. More probably a dime look or whatever they want to run, but I'm very excited about Eric Stokes and his potential. Shandon Sullivan, Shamar Jean-Charles, and Isaac Yiadom, who we traded for Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson actually did make the New York Giants 53-man roster. I did see that. So pretty happy for both of these guys. They found a new home and they actually made the rosters. So like I said, pretty happy for him, and best of luck to Josh Jackson. Like I said, he meant a lot to me as a player, but never panned out, and that's going to happen sometimes. And I really hope he has a bounce back year with the New York Giants. Safety also hit it right on the head. Adrian Amos, Darnell Savage, Henry Black, and Vernon Scott. Who these last two guys, Henry Black and Vernon Scott, I'm actually really excited about for young safeties. Like they put a lot on tape already. Ines Gaines and Christian Uphoff were released. There was a lot of buzz that we could possibly carry 6 safeties, but and definitely 5, but they ended up choosing to go with 4, probably knowing that those 2 will make it through waivers and we'll be able to get them on the practice squad. And rounding it off, special teams, you had Mason Crosby, Hunter Bradley, and a shocking cut right at 3 p.m., I do believe. J.K. Scott was released, and the Packers traded for Corey Bojorquez, punter from the Los Angeles Rams, who's actually one of the better punters in the league. I mean, this guy has a leg on him, and he's definitely more consistent than J.K. Scott. So the Packers aren't settling here. They're not going to settle here for bad special teams. I think you could look to move on from Hunter Bradley and maybe get a better long snapper in there to help this team, but we can't settle for bad special teams. That's what will cost you games in the end. Just ask that 2014 Packers team, with the debacle of the special teams there to give the Seahawks the ball. when we were going to the Super Bowl. I'll never forgive that, and I'll never forget it at that. But Brandon Bostic, I have no words right now. I really could just lay into you, but you are a human and you will make mistakes, so I'll just leave it there. Acquired Bojorquez for a 2023 6th round pick, and we got in return Bojorquez and a 2023 7th round pick. So just a swap there, and pretty excited about that. Like I said, Corey will be more consistent than J.K. Scott. J.K. just never put it together out of Alabama. I really like J.K. Scott. I was actually following him on the Cole's kicking camps way before the Packers selected him, so I was pretty excited about him, but he just never came to fruition there. But welcome to Green Bay, Corey Bojorquez, and I know that's a complicated name for some of you, but that is exactly how you will say it. And dude hit a 70-yard bomb Saturday against the Denver Broncos, so really excited about this guy. And like I said, just as a team and in general, this 53-man roster, really excited about it, guys. I do believe we have a Super Bowl roster here, and expect a couple of tweaks to this roster in the upcoming days with certain roster cuts and the Packers figuring out who they want to add, or and things of that nature, with teams maybe willing to trade or willing deal here, or whatever. So like I said, very excited about this team, and getting ready for that kickoff against the New Orleans Saints. We'll be ready, and I think you're going to see another great season out of the Green Bay Packers. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I really appreciate the love and support. If you guys could hit that like button and that subscribe button down there, it would mean the absolute world to me. And until next time, go Pack, go, baby.